You need to move out, my mom said while eating Christmas dinner. Really? I asked, staying calm. I pay the rent, the bills, and buy all the food. The next morning, I packed my things and left without saying a word. Hey Reddit, before we begin, just wanted to let you know this is our new channel. We're working hard to bring you great stories, so please subscribe to help us reach 2,000 subscribers soon. Let's get into the story. Christmas dinner was supposed to be nice. I spent all day cooking, trying to make it perfect. I roasted the turkey, made stuffing from scratch, and baked an apple pie, Mom's favorite. The house smelled cozy, and I hoped for once we could have a peaceful holiday. I served everyone drinks, set the table, and for the first time in a long time, I thought maybe tonight we'd feel like a family again. My mom barely looked at me as she carved the turkey. She ate slowly, then looked up as if she suddenly remembered something important. You need to move out, she said, like she was talking about the weather. No emotion, just that. I sat there, shocked, my fork halfway to my mouth. Maybe I heard wrong, but no, I didn't. My sister stared at me, and my cousin went completely quiet. I set my fork down and calmly replied, I pay the rent, the bills, and buy the groceries. You haven't worked in years, Mom. She shrugged, took a sip of wine, and said something about needing her own space back, like I was some guest in my own home. Here's some background. I'm 26 and work full-time in IT. A few years ago, when my mom lost her job, I moved in to help her, not the other way around. She was about to lose the house, so I stepped in to pay for everything. Rent, utilities, even Netflix. I never asked her to pay anything. I thought it was just family helping each other out. But over time, she started acting like I was the problem. Dishes not done? My fault. Wi-Fi slow? My fault. She got a call during her nap? I was rude. I kept quiet. I told myself she was going through tough times. I ignored her passive-aggressive comments and guilt trips about how I should be thankful to live under her roof, even though I was the one paying for everything. After that Christmas dinner, I didn't argue. I just stared at her while she went back to eating, like she hadn't just changed everything. I quietly left the table. In my room, I sat for hours trying to figure out what just happened. No fight, no reason. Just get out. The words echoed in my mind all night. I packed slowly, not even knowing where I'd go, but I couldn't stay after that. She didn't knock on my door or ask what I was doing. It felt like she didn't care. The next morning, while she was still asleep, I grabbed my suitcase, my laptop, and a few essentials, and I left. No note, no goodbye, just silence. At first, I thought she might call, maybe apologize. But hours went by, then days. Nothing. She didn't even check if I had a place to stay. The woman I'd supported for years didn't care enough to ask if I was okay. I ended up crashing at my friend Mason's place. He offered without hesitation, and his kindness made me realize just how cold my own family had become. A few days after I left, I found a small studio apartment on the edge of town. It wasn't big, but it was quiet, and it was mine. No one telling me when to come home. No annoyed looks when I laughed. No guilt. Just peace. About a week later, my younger sister sent me a message. You won't believe what Mom is telling everyone. I called her right away, and what she said made my stomach drop. Mom had started telling the rest of the family that I abandoned her. That I walked out on Christmas Day without saying a word. That I was too selfish to live with her anymore. She even told people I yelled at her during dinner and stormed out in anger. A bunch of our aunts reached out to her, saying how sorry they were that she had to go through that. One even offered to bring her meals during this hard time. I couldn't believe it. My own mom was lying to everyone to make me look bad. Kicking me out wasn't enough. Now she wanted to turn everyone against me too. And it was working. My uncle unfollowed me on Instagram. My cousin kicked me out of a group chat. All because of a story she made up to make herself look better. That's when I hit my limit. I had kept quiet for long enough. I didn't want to make things public, but if she was going to lie to everyone and ruin my reputation, I wasn't going to just take it. I thought about texting the whole family and telling them what really happened, but that seemed messy. So I did something else, something that felt more powerful. I wrote a post. A calm, honest, respectful post. I explained how I had paid every bill in that house for years, that I never asked my mom for anything, and that after I made her a full Christmas dinner, she told me to move out. I didn't insult her. I just told the truth, and I let people decide what to believe. Then I posted it and stayed offline. What happened after that? I didn't expect the wave that hit. I avoided my phone the whole day after I posted. I was nervous. I didn't want to know if people believed me or if they'd already picked her side. But later that night, I gave in and checked. My phone was flooded. Messages, calls, comments, it was overwhelming. The first one I saw was from Aunt Lisa. She's always been the most level-headed. She said she was shocked. My post made her see things differently. She apologized for assuming the worst and admitted Mom had always twisted the truth when things didn't go her way, but no one ever said anything. Aunt Lisa told me she was sorry and that her door was always open if I needed anything. I didn't know how much I needed to hear that until I did. Slowly, more families started reaching out. Some said sorry. Some didn't say much, but it was clear they knew the truth now. My cousin Caleb messaged me. You know, we always knew something was off about how your mom treated you. That hit me hard. Even though I lived through it, I always told myself maybe I was being too sensitive. Hearing someone else say, it made me feel seen. It hurt, but it also felt like I wasn't crazy. But the real shock came when my mom saw the post. I didn't tag her, but someone must have shown her. The next morning, I woke up to a bunch of texts from her. At first, she tried to make me feel bad. I can't believe you'd embarrass me like that. Then she got angry. You twisted everything. I never told you to leave. You chose to. You're always playing the victim. And finally, the classic guilt trip. After everything I've done for you. That part made me laugh, coldly. I didn't answer. There was nothing left to say. She had her chance to talk to me honestly, and she chose to lie. In the weeks after, things calmed down. I stayed in my new place and finally started feeling like I had my own life. No walking on eggshells. No tension. Just freedom. I bought a used couch, a little table, and a coffee maker. I cooked for myself, watched shows out loud, and slept peacefully. At first, it felt strange, too quiet. But slowly, I started to enjoy the quiet. I didn't realize how much stress and noise I'd been living with until it was gone. Then one day, my younger sister texted me and asked to meet. We hadn't talked much since I moved out. She still lived with Mom and didn't want to get in the middle. But now, she looked tired. We met at a small cafe downtown. After some small talk, she finally opened up. She told me things had gotten worse at home. With me gone, Mom had started missing rent payments. The power was shut off for a day before she scraped the money together. She even asked Grandma for help, but Grandma said no. Mom was falling apart and blaming everyone, especially me, for everything going wrong. But then my sister said something I didn't expect. You did the right thing by leaving. You should have left sooner. That hit deep. Coming from the only other person who lived there, those words felt like freedom. She saw it. All of it. And she didn't pretend it wasn't real. She told me she was thinking about leaving too once she could afford it. I told her I couldn't help with money, but I'd support her in every other way. I wasn't going to leave her alone like I had been left. A few days later, I heard a knock on my apartment door. It was Mom. She smiled like nothing had happened and held out a store-bought pie like that would fix everything. I didn't open the door all the way. I stepped outside and stood in the hall. She said she missed me, that things felt different without me, that maybe we could have dinner and talk. I asked her if she came to say sorry.
She paused,
then said, I don't think I need to. I think we both made mistakes. That was enough for me. I shook my head, wished her well, and closed the door. I didn't slam it. I didn't raise my voice. I just closed it. Because after everything, I wasn't even mad anymore. I was just done. I spent years trying to be the good son. Always helping, always giving, always keeping the peace. I gave up my comfort, my money, and my mental health for someone who didn't value it. But now I was free. The post I wrote stayed up. I never deleted it. It wasn't revenge, it was the truth. If she saw it as betrayal, That was her problem. The real betrayal was what she did that night over dinner, and everything that followed. It's been a few months now. I've decorated my apartment with little things that make it feel like mine.
I see my sister sometimes.
We grab coffee and talk about her plans. I know she'll leave one day, too. She's stronger than she knows. And me? I'm finally living for myself. No guilt. No pressure. Just peace.